Hello, my name is Boni Mukombos. I'm the Project Implementation Manager for Micro Projects at VSO in Rwanda. As we commemorate the 16 days of activism, I think this is an important period of time where we join voices, combine efforts to combat gender-based violence across our interventions. We all agree that injustice to anyone is injustice to everyone. This sends a message to all of us to really reflect on, first of all, prevention. How do we educate ourselves to understand the root causes and the drivers of gender-based violence? How do we really interrupt and intercept cases of violence, cases of abuse, gender-based violence across, and other ways and other forms of gender-based violence in which it manifests. The second aspect is around provision of services. The survivors really need special attention, they need special care. It could be emergency to mitigate any risks. It could be services around getting treatment, psychosocial. It can be any other form of services that should be there to really support and help them in the healing process. We need to be reflecting during this time around access to justice. This could be legal investigations to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book, but at the same time to ensure that justice is being seen to be done. As we go into this period, it's important to really join our voices, amplify our voices to ensure that the survivors are safe, handling their cases is confidential. And last share about this is around coordination, monitoring, evaluation of what has been done. Do we need to reflect and understand what are the drivers of gender-based violence? Do we go back to understand what has been achieved? Can we leverage on the progress in terms of legal, in terms of interventions, so that all voices, mainly the vulnerable young people, the vulnerable, those who are poor, those who have very complicated backgrounds, the teen moms, the sex workers, the LGBTQ youth, and people with disabilities, all these are because of their conditions, which puts them in very marginalized positions and puts them at risks of abuse. So I think it is important that we look at across those from rural areas and those categories that I've mentioned to ensure that they really, their voices and the challenges and risks in which they face are addressed. So this is a time to really reflect as partners and at the same time call to duty bearers to see that there is action to ensure that the prevention is being seen to be done.
Hello everyone, my name is Tusegi Amian. I work with the National Union of Disability Organization as the Makeway Country Coordinator. For us in the Makeway, we mostly deal with sexual gender-based violence because we recognize there are so many types of gender-based violence, but for us it's sexual gender-based violence. And the way we deal with it, and probably could be the way to approach it, is to first of all create space, safe spaces more specifically, for people to have conversations, for people to have freedom to speak about their life experiences, and especially getting a space where they can get support, validation, but also healing. I'm speaking in terms of people who go through, especially people who go through, let's say, rape or assault, but they never get where to speak about it. They never get where to be open about the issue. So safe spaces would be one of the ways to actually raise awareness about this particular issue and get support, solidarity, and healing, but also get further legal support if possible. At least that's what we're doing the Make Way program. But secondly, because this is affecting mostly people with intersecting issues, as we don't live single life issue, we also need to recognize the multifaceted, of like the way this issue is multifaceted. Like if you are a woman but with other social identities, they should be considered so that prevention and response are tailored to the needs. For instance, if you are a woman with disability, let's say you are mentally challenged, it is not expected that the set mechanisms are supporting you, because you need extra care, you need extra support, you need extra attention, so that the barriers that prevent you to even access the reporting mechanism are broken. The barriers have to be broken. So this requires a recognition of an intersectional lens in dealing with this issue. And thirdly, probably not what we do alone in the Make Way, but rather we create movements of civil society organizations to have a comprehensive approach to deal with SGBV, also creating awareness, also challenging the policy framework to make sure that the policies are more inclusive, to hold the space for every woman without leaving anyone behind, but also to come up with sustainable mechanisms that truly ensure that we create social and lasting change. Last thing, I was about to forget that there is also a need to empower women, because when a woman is empowered about her rights, about her entitlements, it is evident that this woman will make informed decisions, and that will really be an opportunity for her to get a hint where to go get support, where to go knock in case an injustice has happened to her. So yeah, I think that's what I can say about it. And probably other organizations also would make this their own business as well, by creating or by putting in place policies, internal policies that truly support women to be protected against sexual gender-based violence, because we believe that this also might happen in workplaces, and that could affect women in a way that it can also impact their productivity at work, and probably forcing them to leave work, or maybe to not leave. Your body is yours. You have full right on your body. So it's good to enjoy bodily autonomy, and know that in case you don't want anything, no one should force you into it. It's your right to say no, and your no should be really a no. A no should not send like a different feedback of upset or yes. It should be really a no. And in case there is a need of reaching out to the local leaders, please, you are free to go and report, because there are mechanisms that the country has put in place to report and get support in case you have been abused.
My name is Olivia Promise Kamatesi. I am the founder, the country director for Empower Rwanda. Empower Rwanda is a women's rights organization that works to prevent or fight gender-based violence and also support its victims. We are members of Make Way program, where we're supporting over 2,000 teen mothers in sexual and reproductive health and rights program. First of all is to look at gender-based violence as an issue that is not for women, as being root causes, because there's a lot of victim blaming. I think they should stop victim blaming, which has kept women silent and girls under abuse, because they believe that even if they spoke, they would not get justice because they are blamed for whatever happens to them. So duty bearers, parents, or whoever is responsible should look at this issue as not a girl-driven or a woman-driven kind of problem. So victim blaming, and also we should also discourage the issue of culture of silence, where women and girls are silenced in the form of being good women and good girls, because they are conditioned to believe that keeping quiet, not talking about in abuse, even when you're married or not, is a form of being a submissive woman. No, that should support women and girls to speak out, to speak about the issues they face, and also support them to get justice. We should also not neglect the victims, because it accelerates their level of abuse. Where we have girls, for instance, the teen mothers that have been rejected by their families, left out, and this has kept them in an abusive state and in silence, because they have to depend on perpetrators who are left out to move freely in their respective communities. It's also important to focus on perpetrators, also do campaign to hunt perpetrators, because they're in the communities and they know them, and also hold accountable the parents who negotiate with perpetrators, who abuse their daughters, who are given material things just to keep silent. So such parents also should be held accountable. The key message should be to encourage girls, especially the teens, to speak out whenever they are abused. That is very important, because whenever they are kept silent, they do not get justice, and perpetrators keep around, moving freely in the communities, abusing even more girls. Another thing that girls need to be told is about their rights. They need to know their rights, their sexual and reproductive health and rights. They should also be able to know the GBV referral pathways. They should know where to report when they get abused, and also they should be supported instead of being blamed. I think girls need to be told to have confidence in reporting perpetrators, but also the service providers or duty bearers should treat them with respect, without blame.
Hello everyone, my name is Sami. I'm joining others to celebrate the 16 days of activism. I'll be sharing my experience working with the community by using the intersectional community scorecard tool. Some of the findings from the tool indicates that some of the issues that have been highlighted by the youth indicates that some of the issues can be categorized as the GBV issues, but others can be classified as the factors that can lead to the GBV if they are not well solved. For instance, there is some of the young girls during the process that have been saying how they have been raped, but they didn't know where to report, how they can report the issues they have been facing. One of the ways where we can help the youth to advocate for themselves, first of all, they have first to know their rights and entitlements so that they'll be able to advocate for themselves. Because during the process, many of them have been saying that they really do not know more information about their rights. So one of the things that can be done is raising awareness so that these young people will be knowing their rights and entitlements. The second is just linking them to the spaces where decisions are being made so that they will be able to voice out their challenges, and then they will be engaged in solving them so that at the end they can be held accountable for their responsibility, and as well as advocating for their fellow youth. And my message to the duty bearers and service provider who has this in their responsibility, first they have to make sure that the pathway to the GBV reporting should be clear to the youth so that they will be able to be reporting the GBV cases without fear. And second, the service providers, especially, they should create safe spaces for the youth so that the victims will be able to speak out their experience without minding about, what will come after reporting what they have been experiencing. And lastly, there should be a constant capacity building to the service providers and the duty bearers about how they handle these GBV cases that are being reported, so that they will be able to handle it effectively.
Hello, my name is Ngabonziza Elik. I'm deaf and I'm youth panel member under Mekwe program. Thank you. True, as you know, many youth with hearing impairment, they do not access to the information. In fact, the first challenge is missing the information. Second, adequate education. They are going at school, but the teacher, they cannot give them the full information. Again, is unwanted pregnancy. They are raped. So all of that are the challenges that they are facing, that we need to advocate for, that the government in general and other partners can provide the information, access to the services regarding the SR, HR, in all other programs. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. The message I can give is on how to reduce gender-based violence. How? For example, reducing the unwanted pregnancy, the teen pregnancy, the street kids among the youth with disabilities. How? We need to teach them, we need to sensitize them, and showing them how they can protect themselves, for example, from doing unprotected sex. Thank you. In this period coming, the message I can give for the government, partners, is to remember to consider the needs of youth with disability. Don't ignore them. Please consider them while you are doing anything in order to protect their lives and they can live independently. Thank you.